Hello, TJ Bellotti here again. Thanks for stopping back. All right, today I'm going to touch on something that's, relatively boring, but it's actually extremely important. A friend of mine who's starting his business, he's been doing it as a cottage industry on the side for a while now, but he's now going into it full time. And some people have asked him if he's setting up as an LLC or a sub S corporation. He asked me what the difference was. So I'm going to break down actually business structures in general, and then get into a little bit of specifics about each. But before I do that, I'm going to explain. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a practicing accountant, so nothing I am giving you is legal advice. It is simply my understanding, my history, and a little bit of direction about what I have personally done and experienced. This is not legal advice, so don't say that I gave you legal advice. Okay, so the primary reasons, the primary reasons why picking a structure correctly is important is because they have to do with taxes and legal liability. I'm sure there's 3,000 other small reasons, but that is what is important to us, the business owners. A sole proprietorship and a partnership are basically the same structure as far as the government and courts are concerned. So those two kind of fall into the same category. Subchapter S corporation and an LLC, limited liability company, also fall into similar veins. So let me explain what the difference between those two groups are. A sole proprietorship and a partnership, the people that own those businesses are the business. So in other words, if John Smith opens a shoe repair store, he is John Smith's Shoe Repair Company. So if he repairs a pair of shoes, the client comes in, puts the shoes on, walks out the door, the heel falls off. The client falls and injures their ankle. John Smith, the person, is responsible for that individual's injury. Okay? There's no separation between the individual and the business. That is also true when it comes to taxes. The taxes come into the business and they go out of his pocket. In other words, there is no separation between those two aspects. There's a lot of fine reasons and lines in there. Talk to your accountant. Don't talk to me about it. But those are the two primary influences on the partnership and the sole proprietor. On the other side, the LLC and the Subchapter S corporation, there is a wall, it's called a limited liability wall, between the stockholders of a Subchapter S corporation or the members of an LLC and the business. So, my brother and I set up our business as a Subchapter S corporation. We are stockholders in the company. We are also employees of the company. We receive a payroll the same as every other employee does. It's very much the same as if I work for Starbucks as a barista and I go out and I buy some stock in Starbucks. It's the exact same thing. I work for the company and I own some stock. It's the same thing. An LLC is more of a membership type setup. You'll see a lot of lawyers and doctors in LLCs because they're each independent, but they're kind of the part of this group. There is that limited liability wall. There are some tax differences between the two. There are some structural differences between the two. But the primary difference between a sole proprietor and a partnership and a Subchapter S corporation and LLC is that wall in between that separates the person from the business. Personally, I always wanted that separation. Even before I was married, when I was single, I still didn't want anything to happen where somebody could come back and say, well, we're going to come after you personally to have you pay for something as opposed to the business. I always wanted that separation. So those are the primary differences between those things, and you really do need to consult with the attorney and with the accountant to say what is best for me. What is best for me and my family? Make sure if you're married and you have kids and you have a house that both of those people, the accountant and the attorney, know those things. If you're single and you don't own anything and you're 19 and you think, you know what, I'm just going to go to work. I'm going to start collecting money. I'll worry about taxes next March. That's fine. But just know that come next March, because you haven't paid taxes all year, you're going to owe some money. So you need to make sure that you talk to those folks and give them your concerns. A lot of these things, the filings for to file federally and locally for Subchapter S or an LLC, has been kind of, I don't want to say dumbed down, but it's been brought down to such a simple process that you can go into an attorney, have your consultation, and say, okay, I would like to be a Sub S corporation. He'll be able to give you almost an exact amount that you're going to need to pay for him to file those legal papers. It's not going to be a whole lot of money. It's going to be a few $100, but it's better to be set up correctly at the front end than to plow ahead, run into a problem, and then really be behind the 8 ball. So, as I mentioned in one of the other videos about doctors and lawyers lawyers, accountants, insurance brokers, and bankers, make sure you talk to those folks sooner than later. Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of the conversation. You have to do it. Get it out of the way. Because once that's out of the way, once you're set up correctly, the handcuffs come off. You get to go. And there's not much that helps propel a business forward than checking off some of these things off the list of things to do and starting to get a little bit of momentum and being able to run and know in the back of your mind, I am protected. I am set up the way I want to be set up. I'm ready to go for tax season. All I got to do is go out there and grind. So that's the primary difference between the different business structures. Make sure you analyze them. Use Google. It's free. Do a little bit of research. And once you start to get a feel for where you want to be, make sure you go talk to those folks. Have a great day. If you have any questions about this, throw them in the comments section. I'll do the best I can. Again, I'll answer with what I know. I ain't giving no advice. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.